Let's get on one of the most antiquated modern motorcycles and talk about technology.
Getting pretty close to sunset here, so this might be a quick conversation, or we'll be having some pretty good chats in the dark. Oh, there's the sun. Always good to get out on a ride in the sunshine. So let's talk about technology and how it relates to life and motorcycles. And the reason why I'm talking to you about technology is because I just dropped a video today about how I gave up on the Pan America. For a lot of different reasons, but one of them was because of the technology. Specifically, the technology would fail on the Pan America. Pan America is a very innovative, modern motorcycle. But when that innovation, when that technology doesn't work, it is not a fun riding experience. And some of the great comments that I got in that video was that that's the problem. The technology is the problem. And it really got me thinking about why I got into motorcycling in the first place. It was to get away from all that stuff, right? It's to not have to have that phone constantly blurping at you saying, hey, pay attention to me. Getting that dopamine hit from Instagram or heck, even YouTube, you know? Now I get the hypocrisy in what I'm talking about here because I am a YouTuber and I use technology to express myself on YouTube. And I value that. I value technology. But there are times where I feel like maybe I belonged in a different time, you know, when things weren't so crazy. Don't get me wrong, I love modernity. I love technology. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without technology. I'm a video editor. That's what I do for a living. And there's no way I'd be able to do that without the technology that we have. Pretty sure this light is not going to change for me. And Wisconsin state law, after about 45 seconds, I get to go. I'm going to talk a little bit more about technology and how it relates to the motorcycle, mine and your experiences on the motorcycle. But first I want to talk about my experiences with technology and motorcycling. So I get that I've got GoPros on the handlebars of this motorcycle and on my helmet, and that is technology. I'm using that technology to tell my stories, to express my art. Now, my favorite motorcycle of all time, now if you're new here, you probably don't know this. If you've been around for a while, you definitely know the answer to this, is the Africa Twin. Especially the latest generation, the 2020 and newer models. There's gobs of technology on that motorcycle. It's got Apple CarPlay, it's got the 6-axis IMU, it's got fully adjustable suspension. You press one button and you can set the preload based on your weight and your pillion's weight and the gear that you have. It's a pretty advanced motorcycle. You can adjust a crazy amount of things as far as how the engine reacts in certain situations. From engine braking to the power, it's phenomenal technology, but truthfully, it's ridiculously overwhelming. And it takes away from the motorcycling experience. And the Pan America is very similar. It's got all this crazy technology, all these different rider modes, which are wonderful at times. I felt great when I could put it in sport mode and just pull on that throttle and feel nearly all of that 150 horsepower. Equally, if it's raining out, I felt great that I could put it in rain mode and feel a bit safer. And some would say that's not great because I'm not using my skills as a motorcyclist, or if I'm a beginner motorcyclist and I have this technology, I'm not learning the proper way to ride safe, and I fully believe that. While the technology in the Africa Twin was overwhelming, it was reliable. About the only thing that didn't work on a consistent basis was the Apple CarPlay. It had connectivity issues. And I rarely used it, so I didn't mind so much. But with the Pan America, the technology, it just stopped working. And it was ridiculously frustrating. I'm running the risk here of sounding like an old man talking about technology this way. Yeah, I think about my parents or even my grandparents not knowing how to use some of the technology that was fairly new in the late 80s and early 90s. Pretty sure I had to show my grandmother how to use a CD player. that pretty much dates me. But what I love about motorcycles like this one is it takes me away from all of that. It helps me to clear my head. It helps me to not, it forces me to not use technology and just enjoy the experience of motorcycling. I ride the Iron 883 because it is a motorcycle that lacks technology. There's no GPS. There's no rider modes. This one doesn't even have ABS. It's me connected to this motorcycle in the experience of riding a motorcycle. And right now it's way too easy to use technology as a human species when we should not. I was spending the weekend with my parents and having a conversation with my dad about motorcycling. Now, he doesn't ride a motorcycle, and he worries about me riding motorcycles. So sometimes he'll tell me stories of what he heard in the news about somebody who got into an accident on a motorcycle. A couple was riding a motorcycle, and she was wearing a helmet in back. He was not wearing a helmet in front. Not that that really matters for this scenario, but just to give you context. And at the four-way stop, it wasn't a four-way stop. It was a two-way stop. The motorcyclist had the right-of-way to go through the intersection, whereas this 17-year-old girl who was texting on her phone, she flew through the intersection, distracted by her phone, and hit the motorcyclist. He died instantly, and she died later in the hospital. And that's because we have our phones so close to us while we're driving. And it's so easy to think it's safe on a country road where you don't expect anybody to be, to just go ahead and text. It's not. It's never okay to use your phone while driving like that. It's never okay to look at Instagram. It's never okay to check Facebook or to send a quick text, being distracted by that phone. And I know a lot of motorcyclists have stopped riding, at least on the street, because of really shitty drivers. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all, because sometimes it just feels really unsafe out here. And it's because of technology. And what I'm dismayed is seeing a lot of Harley motorcycles that were formerly very free of technology now starting to have some of the distractions that I'm talking about that we use in cars. GPS is great, but do we really need Apple CarPlay on our motorcycles? Maybe not. Maybe those of you who have the CVOs and some of the newer Harleys that have more modern technology in them, maybe you can tell me I'm wrong about this and it's beneficial and you're not being distracted by it. You're still enjoying the experience of riding a motorcycle, not technology free, but nearly technology free, with just a tiny bit of technology. I don't know. I haven't ridden these bikes, so I don't know what that experience is like. Though the Africa Twin and the Pan America had a lot of distractions on them. And like I said, especially the Pan America, the technology just didn't hold up. Give me a simple motorcycle free of technology so I can experience the joy of riding. Maybe some of you will disagree with me on this. Maybe you'll think that the technology is a wonderful thing and a wonderful addition to motorcycling. But I think there's going to be a lot of you out there who might agree with me. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate every one of you. Ride safe out there. Keep your wheels rolling in the right direction. I'll see you in the next video.